Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of See Yourself Grow with Tina. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Tina Collura, and I am the founder and CEO of the See Yourself Grow coaching company. I am a wife, I'm a mom, and I'm a boss at everything that I do. So today, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about human design. So you're probably wondering, what is human design? And you're probably thinking, where do we learn more about it? Well, very shortly, I'm going to have a human design specialist come on and talk to us more about what human design is all about. But she's also a biofield tuning practitioner. So she has a double specialty. So I'm super excited to bring Sandra on shortly. But I got to tell you, like, the world floods us with messages about who we should be in order to survive and or thrive in this world. But human design teaches us that the same advice is not always accurate for everyone, right? We can't paint everyone with the same brush. So the road to being your happiest or most successful self is one that is totally unique to you. And that's what human design is really all about. So human design really helps you recognize your inner gifts and your traits so that you can be who you truly came here to be, which is the most effortless road to living your dream life. So today I have the great pleasure of interviewing Sandra Lee from BC. And Sandra is a biofield tuning practitioner and a human design specialist who helps entrepreneurs and their businesses basically achieve amazing results so you can find freedom from stress and create success and abundance by using sound and by being more aware of your human design. She helps entrepreneurs and their businesses be more in integrity with their purpose, aligning with the truth of who they are, and activates powerful forces that attract their ideal client, their perfect client to their businesses. She uses a combination of human design and biofield tuning, which we're going to get more into. And when you feel pain or overwhelmed, and or if you've been, affected by trauma, maybe you're stuck in a certain situation. Well, for 30 years, Sandra has been helping her clients basically get unstuck. She takes their energy, she helps their energy flow better. She frees you up to be happier and healthier and basically more successful using tuning forks, sound, and wisdom from the stars and the planets. So she can actually pull your human design chart. And if you'd like to book an assessment with her, we'll talk about more of that as the interview goes on. So let's talk more about how you and your business would benefit from human design and biotuning. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Sandra. Hey, Sandra. Oh, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. There you are.
Thank you so much, Tina. I have been looking forward to doing this with you.
Oh my goodness, Sandra, since the moment I met you, I was like, yes, I'm like, let's do something together. So I'm so excited that you're here. Thank you for your time. So let's hop right in. The first question I have for you is, what is human design? What is it all about?
Human design is based on where the planets were at the time you were born.
Huh.
So people are pretty familiar with astrology, right?
Mm-hmm.
Astrology and human design are very related. So astrology is based on where the planets were. Human design brings in elements of other things. So the I Ching, quantum physics, the Kabbalah tree of life. And it produces a chart like this that's based on, in this case, when I was born. And you can see that there's colored shapes. There's all kinds of really interesting stuff on the chart.
Okay.
And it tells me what's going to happen in my life in terms of the themes. It doesn't tell me what I do. It doesn't tell me what my job is. It tells me the themes that are going to be in my life, the things I'm good at, and areas where I might have challenges. And where I have challenges is actually sometimes where my greatest gifts are.
Mm.
So human design really helps me look at these things that happen in my life, some of which I like, some of which maybe I don't like, and see, this is part of my purpose.
Okay.
This is how I contribute to the world. And so helping people understand that is what we do with human design.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, because I mean, so many times we're navigating through life, we're being introduced to different experiences, different people, and some turn out to be really good. And then there's others that don't turn out so good. But the way I see it, it's part of your journey, right? So I guess human design helps you identify, what that area of your life or that experience has done for to basically help with your human design. Is that
Here's what I say about that. So if there's something about the way I am that I don't like, that I judge, that I wish I wasn't this way,
mm-hmm.
when I understand it's part of my design, it enables me to be peaceful about it and manage it. So
Okay.
here's what helped me first learn that this actually made sense for me.
Mm-hmm.
I get angry all of the time,
We all do.
frequently, right? But I
Okay.
used to really beat myself up about it because
Okay.
this was like a major issue in my family relationships, right? I was like, what's wrong with me? How come I can't just get over this?
Yeah.
When I learned that it's part of my human design, that changed everything.
Wow.
This aspect of myself that I hated, that I wish it would just go away,
Uh-huh.
it's like I become peaceful about it. It's like, oh, there that is. I get angry. Okay. And I figure it out and then I get over it.
Right. Okay.
Changed everything.
Huh. Well, I know that I'm definitely intrigued, Sandra. I want to know. I want you to do an assessment on me, because I'm curious. I'm growing up. I was always into astrology. Who is my soulmate, and who am I supposed to marry? What sign is aligned with me? But now I'm really interested in this human design aspect of better understanding myself, right? I think that's key. And as we get older, yes, we go through life, we think we're on the right path, but then you know what? Something gets thrown into our lives. It's like, is this the path I'm supposed to be on? Like, I think we're always questioning, and it's good to question, right? That's why I call my company See Yourself Grow, because the more that we learn, the more that we grow. You stop growing, you're dying, right?
Yes.
So I love that. Okay, now I want to shift gears into the biofield tuning, because that's also fascinating, something I've never heard of before I met you. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Thanks for asking.
Okay.
Biofield tuning uses tuning forks and
Okay.
sound
Okay.
in the energy field for healing. So here is the map. This is the biofield tuning anatomy map. So you've all
Cool.
heard of the aura, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The
The
aura is my
chakras.
energy field.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I work with this energy field, and most of my clients are everywhere in the world. So I'm working virtually. So I create a hologram that represents you, and I use the tuning forks and the sound in the energy field to help you
Okay.
shift things.
Wow.
I do a lot of intuitive work.
Okay.
So, I start a session and I ask people, okay, so what do you want to work on? What are you
Yeah.
struggling with?
Yeah.
And that sets the context.
Okay.
So I start getting all kinds of information relevant to the person or their business, right? Associated with that issue. And then work with the energy blocks in the field using sound.
Oh,
It's
cool.
amazing.
Oh, wow. Okay, I might have to take you up on that too.
Well, and looking at human design and biofield tuning together. So
Hmm.
it's like one time I was doing biofield tuning on
Yeah.
somebody, and this happened to be a distance session. And I started seeing the human design chart overlaid on the biofield.
Oh,
I was
cool.
like, oh, I can do them together. It's
Wow.
amazing. And one of the things that I wind up seeing in the biofield while I'm doing biofield tuning is energetically how the person lives their purpose.
Mm. Wow. Okay. We have a question, actually, Sandra, from someone who's watching. Jennifer Oberhammer. Hi, everyone who's watching. She's like, is this something that can be done virtually, or is it best done in person? Tell us a little bit more about how you work with your clients.
I actually prefer to work with people virtually.
Okay.
So I can do biofield tuning with people in person, but I
Okay.
find that I can do more with them virtually. Unless
Okay.
I'm doing something where I'm working physically on the body for, real physical issues,
Okay.
I find it's actually more effective for me to do it without the need to work with somebody here in person,
Okay.
because most of what I'm doing is actually happening in my head,
Okay.
right? I see the physical body structures, I see the energy flows, and then I say, it's like, okay, this is what I see, and this is what I'm working on,
Okay.
working with the hologram.
Interesting, interesting. And when it comes to the biofield tuning, right? How does that work virtually, right? Is it, do you have to use different forks depending on, different elements or different energies? How does that work?
Sometimes yes, and sometimes no.
Okay.
So in some systems working with tuning forks, they have a different fork with different frequencies for each body issue or whatever. In biofield tuning, we don't do that.
Okay.
So I only have a handful of tuning forks.
Okay.
When I first started doing tuning fork work, I was using a different system, and that system is one that has a lot of tuning forks.
Okay.
And I'm so glad I'm not doing that anymore, because it
Okay.
really works better for me to just use the handful of tuning forks that I have to access all of those different areas. And it does work really well virtually. So I'm in Canada, just like
Hmm.
you. I'm on the West Coast, over in British Columbia. But, one of the people who works with me the most is actually in Switzerland.
Cool.
And I work on him. I work on his businesses, right?
Okay.
So I can work anywhere. And to tell you the truth, there's no time and space either.
Hmm.
So I can work whenever. So, one of the things that comes up is, in my life, I've had events that didn't go the way I wanted to.
Yeah.
Trauma, loss, confusion, things I don't understand. And I
Okay.
see all of those events as creating these balls of energy in my field.
Yeah. I can. Yeah.
And the way I describe it is, if I have all these balls of energy in my field, it's like, this is between me and the people I'm interacting with.
Okay.
I can't see the world and interact with the world except through all of this stuff about my history. With biofield tuning, the sound helps to take these balls of energy in my field and collapse them
Oh
so that
wow.
I have more clear space.
Oh cool.
So I can be the person who I actually want to be and be seen as the person I want to be.
Oh wow. So there's so many people, Sandra, like I'm just thinking there's so many people that are stuck in certain situations, right? That stay stuck, right? And people, it could go into stress, it can go into depression, any kind of mental health issues or concerns. So by using the biofield tuning, you can help them deal with the trauma or that situation and help clear out the negative energy. Is that right? Is that
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
So
God.
let's talk a little bit about how I do this combination. Okay.
Sure.
So the human design chart beams out into the world who I am,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm good at, how I contribute, and it attracts to me opportunities to give my gifts and to learn the lessons that I'm here to learn.
Okay.
So the chart is beaming at one thing. Okay. If I'm doing and saying things that are not consistent with my chart, then the people out there in the world get a confusing message from me,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
Chart saying this, I'm saying this.
Mm.
And when people out there get a confusing message from me, they kind of avoid me.
Okay. I can, yeah.
When I understand what my purpose is and I bring my words and my actions to match, the people out there get a consistent message. And that's how I attract my perfect customers.
Oh my God.
That's how I
Yeah.
attract the people who have the perfect opportunities for me to grow, to be myself in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we take biofield tuning and work with all these balls of traumatic energy that's between me and the world,
Cool.
clear them out
Okay.
so that people out there really can see who I am and want to be.
Yeah, I love that. And I could see how important that is for business people, for coaches, for anyone who is trying to attract their ideal client. Sandra, you know, I work on helping people grow their business, right? I help them break down their barriers. That's that's why you and I connected so well, right? Because I can help them break down their barriers, but then you can help them get in alignment, right, with their messaging, what kind of vibration they're putting out. And then yeah, oh my God, that's so cool. I love it. So
Another aspect of it is when I understand what my purpose is, which is coming from my human design chart and from biofield tuning. Okay. I use that languaging in my marketing
okay,
and
yeah.
how I talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like for me, the strongest aspect of my chart is about truth and integrity and
Yeah.
the absence of truth and integrity.
Mm.
So when I talk to people about living your truth, living in integrity with your purpose, with your
Yeah.
design,
Yeah.
right? I am speaking the language of my chart,
Yeah.
bringing my words to be consistent with my design
Love it.
so that people out there who want to understand what their purpose is. What
Oh,
is my truth? Who am
yeah.
I in the world?
Yep. Yep.
Right?
I love that. So for anybody who's listening, either live or on the replay, I want you to know that you don't have to stay stuck, right? Sandra can help clear out that negative energy. And this is a really great and creative way to do it. So kudos to you, Sandra. So I want to ask you, how did you get started on this journey? Yeah.
I've been a massage therapist for 30 years
Okay.
and learned a lot of different energy work over that time. But I wasn't using it because I didn't feel like I was getting real results
Mm-hmm.
with people.
Okay.
And about 8 years ago, I started doing human design. And I didn't believe in astrology. Astrology didn't do it for me.
Okay.
I didn't think it had any relevance to my actual life.
Okay.
And when I learned about human design, it was from my teacher. And what I told you about the whole anger thing,
Yeah.
that was the first thing I learned. It's like, wow, maybe the positions of the planets do matter for me
Okay.
in my life. So I jumped into human design and I
Okay.
started doing read-ins pretty immediately. And when I tell somebody something about their chart, they say, oh, yeah, that happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Or they say, I wish I'd known that 30 years ago. I would have done things differently.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So, by the way, one of the best people to do human design for is children.
Ooh.
So that they understand what their purpose is before they've made all of the mistakes, before
Mm-hmm.
they've made all the decisions, so that you can help them as the adult, perhaps, help them grow into the positive aspects of their design.
Oh, I love that.
And maybe kind of learn how to manage any problematic aspects before they really develop.
You know, Sandra, I was just talking to a friend of mine. I think it was just earlier this week, and we were talking about how high school students, right? They're like what, 16, 17, 18 years old, and they're being asked to make decisions about their future at that age when they've hardly experienced enough to know what direction they want to go into. I remember sitting in my guidance counselor's office and like, are you going to go to college? You're going to go to university? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so they had me do a personality test, and they gave me the results of that, and I'm like, okay, great, but I'm not ready for all of that.
Yeah.
Like, I want to experience the world. I want to experience different things too. I'm a more hands-on kind of person, right? So I took a year off and I explored different, parts of career adventures, and I traveled, and I just, I think this would be really cool for high school students and for kids. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so
Absolutely. Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
So can you tell us more about like some of the clients that you've helped or some success stories that you've had?
Let me
Um,
tell you first how I found out about Biofield tuning.
oh yeah, Biofield
Yeah.
tuning. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'd been doing body work for a long time,
Right.
and I learned a separate tuning fork system,
Okay.
and I was doing it kind of, sort of, but it really wasn't doing it for me. And then I found out about Biofield tuning a little over 2 years ago,
Okay.
and I started doing it. And my certification as a Biofield tuning practitioner got completed when the pandemic shutdown started.
Okay.
So March 2020. Okay.
Okay.
And here's a story that I tell all the time that like, oh, this stuff really works. Okay. So the shutdown had started, and I'm here in Canada, right?
Okay.
And someone who lives 5 minutes from me, she had fallen on her hand and it was black and blue and she couldn't open it.
Ooh, ouch. Okay.
She couldn't come here. I couldn't go there. So I called her on the telephone and I did Biofield tuning on her. And while I was working on her, the bruise went away and she was able to open her hand
Come on.
while I was working on her.
No way.
It was
That's
so cool,
cool.
right? So it's like, wow, this really works.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Why aren't more people using it for healing?
It's a relatively new system,
Okay.
and they're getting to be more and more practitioners all the time. But,
Okay.
we're just in the phase of getting people knowing what it is even.
So any types of aches and pains, like knee, back, all of that.
Yeah. Here's another story. So
Okay.
this woman who I worked with, she had had migraine headaches since she was a baby. Limited her life. She didn't, was afraid to go places. Her kids had to be quiet. It's like, be quiet, mommy has a headache, kind of a
Oh,
thing,
yeah,
really limiting her life.
yeah, yeah.
So we started doing Biofield tuning, and about 10 minutes into it, I says, like, how's your headache? She had a headache that day. She said, it's starting to get better. By the end of the session, her headache was gone.
Wow.
Now, she still gets headaches,
Okay.
but they're not as bad, and she can manage them.
Okay.
It comes on, and she can get it to go away.
Oh my goodness.
So it no longer controls her life.
Oh,
She has more
Sandra.
freedom to go places, do things.
Yeah.
Her kids don't have to be careful, be quiet because mommy
Yeah.
has a headache.
Yeah.
It's such a difference.
Oh, so how about arthritis? Could it help with arthritis?
It could, right? So it's like,
I'm just thinking about my mom. My
yeah,
mom.
we never really know,
Okay.
right? I can't make promises,
Yeah.
but I believe everything is energy,
Yeah.
and it's possible to change anything with energy,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Right now, I have a series going on about memory and clear thinking, helping people to have their brain work well to the end of their life.
Whoa.
So
Even with people with Alzheimer's or?
possibly, right?
Okay.
So it's like scientists, the doctors know that it really is possible to regenerate brain tissue. But I can't make promises.
Okay.
Right? I mean, really, it's about you have to make the changes in your lifestyle. So I've got a series that's started this past Wednesday that's
Okay.
focusing on this. What do we do in our life that affects the brain? Because everything affects the brain.
Cool.
And we just started on Wednesday.
Okay.
I have a couple of people who are having symptoms like not able to think or, not able to focus because we're stirring up the old patterns and stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's working.
Okay. Okay. Oh, do you have room for more?
Yes, I am leaving registration open until we have the second session on
Okay.
November 10th. So
Okay.
people can listen to the recording for the first session and
Uh-huh.
then be part of the second session and then going forward. So yes, that was what I wanted to make as an offer to people.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So for anybody who's listening, again, live or on the replay, if you really want to get crystal clear on your thinking and just get better on your patterns, because listen, the moment that your brain starts getting foggy and you're not hearing things or you're not focusing well, these are all signs that the stress is taking over, right? So if you're having problems getting clear, I want you to reach out to Sandra and talk to her about this as well. If you're having any aches or pains, I think I'm going to do a session with you with my mom, Sandra. She has a language barrier, so I'll be there to help her out. But she struggles so hard with her arthritis pain, especially at night. So if there's anything that we could do to help her, I'm open, and
We
I'm
can
sure
talk about it.
she'll. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
talk about it. Okay, great.
But also
Mhm.
business. It can help people with business.
Tell us more about that.
Yeah. So what had me decide to start focusing on businesses
Okay.
is I did a human design reading for a friend,
Uh-huh.
and she wanted to have started a school of aesthetics.
Okay.
Okay. And so I looked at her chart and I was like, you know what? That would really make sense with your purpose. Okay.
Mm.
She started a school. Okay. Pandemic had started.
Mm-hmm.
And she was really having a hard time getting enough students. They weren't allowed to have school actively, right? So I was like, okay, does it make sense for me to continue this? So I looked at her school's chart. Perfect. For
Mm.
her specific audience,
Mm-hmm.
her school is perfect.
Mm.
So she held on. Okay. Then she had like lots of students starting to come because the
Okay.
government gave people money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So these people who wanted to start a business, now her school is like thriving, going
Nice.
crazy.
Okay.
She has a new facility that's bigger. She's buying another school. So she's expanding. Right.
Interesting.
And I do Biofield tuning for her when she's stressed, overwhelmed, trying to make decisions, helping energy to flow, helping her see, okay, this decision that you're making, let's look at your chart, your human design chart.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, and helps her make decisions that are consistent with her purpose, consistent with her direction, helps her stay out of overwhelm, out of stress, right? And so the combination of human design and biofield tuning really supports her in her business thriving.
Ooh, I
It's been
love
amazing.
that. I love it. So, for any entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, anyone who's in business, listen, we all know how stressful it can be. We all know that we have ups and downs, right? But there's also a lot of folks out there who are in a career or thinking about starting a business or just they're not sure about what business they want to start. Sounds like biotuning and human design can help with the clarity and clearing out that negative energy as well. So that's really cool. Sandra, this is amazing. I'm learning so much. My mind is like firing at all cylinders. I love it. Okay, so do you have anything? Well, I think you touched upon it, right? Anything special coming up, but you have your class. Tell us more about that.
So there's 8 sessions.
Okay.
So I planned this memory and clear thinking issue as one session. And then I realized how complex the issue is.
Okay.
Food, stress, sleep, all of these factors are so important for brain function.
Yeah.
So I expanded it from 1 session to 8 sessions.
Cool. Yeah.
And my focus is getting people to look at their beliefs, their emotions, how they think, and then their habits.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's in making shifts in how I live my life.
Yeah.
That's where it really makes a difference for brain function.
Okay.
So this series is focusing on people making the lifestyle changes that they need to be able to take care of this most important thing that I have. This is my very most precious possession, is my brain.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
without it, I can't do anything.
It's so true. And I feel like There's so many people out there who are focusing on their physical body, right? We have gyms all over the place, right? One on every corner. But where is all the attention, for the brain, right?
Yes.
For our mental, physical, emotional, spiritual states, right? Why aren't we focusing on that as much as our physical? Why? Because society, right, puts out all these images out there from when we're very young, subliminal messages about our physical, what we're putting into our bodies, right? But what we should be focusing on is taking care of this, right?
Yes.
So again, this is why I created the See Yourself Grow program, because I saw what a difference it made in me. So similar to you, Sandra, I was angry. I didn't know how to deal with my emotions as a child. I didn't know how to communicate my thoughts or my feelings, right? And so I made it my lifelong mission to educate myself, to stimulate my mind. So I really appreciate what you're doing and how you're doing it. And I'm intrigued. I'm really fascinated. So good for you. Um, any signs, Sandra? I want to talk about that. Like, what are the signs that people should be looking out for when they're not in alignment, or where they're not living their purpose? Let's talk about that. Maybe, maybe if you could list out like 3 to 6 things that people should be aware of, that should triggers, like, can you tell me about that?
The biggest one is there are people everywhere who know I'm not contributing. What I know I need, there's some reason why I'm here
Mm,
and I'm not doing it.
hmm.
And I don't know what it is.
Okay.
That's the most common reason why, at least for me, people seek human design readings, because they know they want to be making a bigger difference and they don't know how.
Okay.
If you're dissatisfied with what you're doing,
Yeah.
right? If you're unhappy with your work, if you, look at the clock and it's like, when do I get to leave?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have a hard time focusing on what you're doing because you're thinking about something else.
Yeah.
You're thinking about, what you really want to be doing, or a hobby you have that it's like, oh, I wish I was home doing that, but I have to be here watching the clock, doing my job, punching the clock, following
Mm,
somebody else's rules, doing what somebody else tells me want to do.
yeah.
Those kinds of dissatisfaction signs are obvious. It's like,
Okay.
oh, I want to be doing something else.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you're in that constant struggle with yourself, right? When I always say, when you wake up in the morning, if you're not jumping out of bed, like out of excitement that you're getting ready to start the day, that is a telltale sign that you are not in alignment with what you're supposed to be doing. And I got to tell you, I think, Sandra, you'll agree with me. I think that's like 1% of the population that is truly happy and jumping out of bed, doing what they're living their life, living their best life, their purpose, right? So we need more of those people. I
Yeah.
think the world would be so much happier. Everyone would be happier if we were doing that, right? So,
And another sign is when people are particularly stressed or overwhelmed.
hmm, yeah, constantly,
Yeah.
constantly, right? Like, I have my peaks and valleys. Like, I can tell when I'm in a stressful moment, or when I'm having an anxiety attack, right? I can't breathe, and I just put my hands, I close my eyes, and I love the way you end your emails. Breathe. Like, Sandra's reminding me to breathe. Right? It's so true though, right? So we got to pay attention to those signs. And if you're going through that, I want you to reach out to Sandra. She's given us so much information. Sounds like, she could really help people get in alignment with their lives and their business. So Sandra, how can people get in touch with you?
I have a website,
Okay.
miracleinspirations.com, and Tina will have that information to post with the video.
Okay.
Um, You can pull a chart. Charts are free.
Okay.
So always free. And you can book an assessment. Assessments are free.
Okay.
Okay. There's information that I will give her for information about the Memory and Clear Thinking program,
Oh,
which is
awesome.
open until November.
Okay.
And if people don't get in by the November, then I'm going to run it again starting in April. So
Okay. Okay. You know what, Sandra, if you wouldn't mind putting that in the chat, the link to your course, I think that would be just easy access so that people can just click on that link and get in touch with you. Also, if you want to put the link to your website, I will then take those links and add them when I share this live on LinkedIn as well.
okay.
That would be super amazing. Sandra, oh my goodness, thank you so much for all this information. You've, overloaded me with so many wonderful things. No, it's, you know what? I always say to people, if you can take at least one thing from these lives, you are that much further ahead than everyone else, right? So here is Sandra, 30 years of experience on how to take care of that brain of ours, but not just the brain, but how to take care, pay attention to what's going on physically, emotionally, mentally, so that you could live your best self. You could thrive in your business and you know what, live your best life because we only have one, like, right? So,
Absolutely.
so thank you again for all your time and energy. I loved your energy, Sandra. So thank you again, and feel free to stick around. I'm just going to wrap things up for everyone. Any last thoughts? Anything we didn't cover?
Breathe.
Always remember to breathe. Thank you again, Sandra,
Thank
and
you.
we'll be in touch for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, take
Thank
care.
you.
All right. So, listen, I don't know about you guys, but I've learned so much today with the bio tuning and with the human design work that Sandra is doing. And I'm definitely going to go to her website and I'm going to click on the human design chart because I'm interested to learn about what human design type I am. So, in doing my research, I've learned that there are 5 human design types. Number 1 are generators. Number 2, there's manifesting generators. Number 3, there's manifestors. Number 4 are projectors. And then number 5 are reflectors. But as you could see from Sandra's chart, there's so much more to it, right? So if you're interested in doing the assessment, do the assessment and then reach out to Sandra, find out more about your human design type, and be sure to follow Sandra on her Facebook page because she's going to be interviewing me next week, same time, not the same place, because we're going to be on her Facebook page. So again, I'm super excited to collaborate with other coaches, consultants, small business owners. So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to reach out to me and let's talk about how we can collaborate. So the month of October is pretty much over, okay? And I want to ask you, how close are you to achieving your 2021 goals? Remember those New Year's resolutions you set for yourself, maybe in December or January? Well, how's that going? Did you do them? Did you even come close to achieving them? Are you ready for 2021 to be over? And are you ready for a fresh new start in 2022? Is 2022 going to be bigger and better for you? Well, if you're ready for a restart and you want to focus on, making your vision a reality, then I want you to join me on November 16th for a free masterclass on how to take your big ideas, break them down to smaller, more attainable goals. Because let's face it, that's my superpower. And I want to share this free masterclass with all of you. I want you to type in "ready for a restart" free masterclass in Facebook and register today. Okay. I'm going to continue to remind you up until November 16th. But if you're ready for a restart, type it in "ready for a restart" free masterclass. But only if you are serious about taking charge and making a change for your future. Okay. So you have three choices today. You could direct message me if you're in a situation where your health, your wealth, your relationships are suffering and you just need a kick in the right direction. I'll give you a free 30-minute confidence booster call, no strings attached, zero pressure. I want to be there to help you, to kick you in the right direction. Number two, you can sign up for my free masterclass, Ready for a Restart, Vision to Reality, or you can go to my website, seeyourselfgrow.com, and register there. Or you can do absolutely nothing and stay exactly where you are. But remember, whatever you are not changing, you are choosing. Okay. I have been coaching for over 15 years. I've worked in corporate for 21. I've had 4 career changes in my life and I've been successful in every one of them. Why? Because I know what it means to achieve your goals. I know what it means to be passionate about what you want in your life. I know what it means to jump full in. I know what it means to help people get out of their own way and into results in less than 60 days. Why? Because I've done it for myself over and over. I've done it for the 50 clients I served last year and for the 50 clients that I'm serving this year. Okay. And if you're ready to take your business to the next level, out of the state of despair that it's in, if you are done leaving money on the table, if you are fed up with your current situation, then I want you to private message me. That's what I'm going to leave you with today. I am here to help see you and your business grow in the right direction. But first, I want you to know that we got 2 months left in 2021. So if you're ready for a restart, let me know. I'd be there to help you. Thank you for your time today, everyone. Truly enjoyed doing this live with Sandra Lee. Make sure that you visit her Facebook page and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Okay? Bye, everyone.